Paging Michael and Colleen. Paging Michael and Colleen.
You're listening to Scrubs Off, Bottoms Up.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Scrubs Off, Bottoms Up. I'm Michael.
And I'm Colleen.
And welcome back to our shit show of a podcast. It might be a little less of a shit show given the fact that something very exciting happened for Colleen this week. Colleen, please tell everyone why you are a new changed woman who is not only bodacious and broad-shouldered and beautiful, but you're fucking glowing this week.
I just love when you compliment me and just like throw in these other words that I hate that you call me. But now this broad, bodacious bitch is working day shift.
Woo!
And I have slept at night and it's the most insane thing I've ever done.
Do you feel like your circadian rhythm is back on like a normal schedule, or are you still adjusting?
No, not at all. Like I could have taken 3 naps during that one.
Okay.
I've only worked 2 day shifts so far. So let me not act like I'm like a day shift bitch. It's been 2 days and I needed a nap starting at like 11 a.m. I haven't figured out my caffeine schedule.
Okay. Fair.
I
mean, do you still wake up and chug a Celsius every morning?
No.
Really?
Because I want to save. I don't want to drink 2 Celsius a day and I know I'm going to be tired. A 3 p.m. nap is like necessary for my body.
Okay.
I think it's necessary for anybody.
Yeah, no, I love a nap.
Once 3 p.m. hits, I'm like zonked.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's like the 3 a.m. lull when you're on night shift.
Yeah, it's like beautiful, but I feel weird. That's what it is.
I think it's probably going to take you a couple of weeks to adjust.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, as a whole, I said it the other night, I'm like, it's just, like, really odd to, like, go to sleep when you're tired. I'm used to, like, pushing through when I'm tired rather than, like, going to sleep. And to be like, oh, it's 10 p.m., I'm tired, like, go to bed.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I feel like you're going to have to start learning to, like, listen to your body's cues of, like, I am tired, because I feel like for so long, switching between working nights and then being on like a normal person schedule. You
literally have to force yourself to sleep, and you force yourself to wake up. Like there is no listening to your body 100%. At all.
So when I used to work night shift, I worked night shift for a couple of years, and then I refused to work nights again. But I did work this contract in Minnesota when I first met Michael, and
Minnesota.
We're
big hockey.
Not my most favorite place to work in the world, but we can move beyond that because I don't need any Minnesota hate.
Hot take. Any state that starts with an M kind of sucks.
Massachusetts, Minnesota, Maine. Okay, yeah, no, that's not a good hot take.
Maine.
Maine is cool. I love lobster rolls.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going off topic.
Go.
So I worked this contract. I essentially moved my life out to move in with Michael, and we were going to see if this worked because we had been doing long distance for a while. And the day before my contract started, I got a call from my travel recruiter. And she was like, so we have an issue. You actually don't have a contract. And I said, what do you mean? I signed paperwork. And I just
That's the beauty of travel, babe.
I just moved my entire life out here. Yeah. But even though I was traveling, I was like trying to move in with my boyfriend. Hello. I was not trying to go somewhere else. And she's like, yeah, well, they put you in a house supervisor contract. And I was like, excuse me? They're like, do you have any? I said, I've been a charge nurse. Like, no way do I know how to run bed placement and all shit that happens in a hospital. A house supervisor essentially like oversees the hospital and how they run. So I was like, yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah. So I panic, I throw a freak out. And finally they were like, okay, we can make a position for you as critical care float. But the caveat to that is not only will you be rotating every other week from day shift to night shift.
That's illegal.
Not in Minnesota, and they went on strike at the same time New York did. But not only will you be rotating each week, but you will also be rotating each shift. So if you're on day shift, your first 8 hours, let's say, for example, you're in trauma ICU, the last 4 hours you leave that assignment and you go to wherever else you're needed. So there were days where I would go from trauma ICU to the emergency room.
I hate to break it to you, but they made all that up and wanted you to cancel the contract. That's insane.
It was fucking insane, but I swear the nurses who worked any sort of float pool at this hospital were used to it. So
that's disgusting.
And night shift was even worse because it was backwards. So I would get there at 7 o'clock. By 11 p.m., I would be done on the unit I was at and have to move to another unit for an entire 8 hours and get a brand new assignment. It was hell on earth.
Yeah, that's insane.
I rest my point. Where I was going with this, when I worked nights, I picked up a really unhealthy habit. like really excruciatingly unhealthy.
Tell me.
When you work night shift, you get off at 7 a.m.
What was the habit? Hurry.
The habit was a shifty. I was like, not only was I going to make a martini when I got home and drink it in the shower, but I was going to possibly throw a little shot of ZQL or NyQuil into that martini.
Okay, wait.
And drug myself
how do you
to
know?
sleep.
6 years, that's what I've been doing, babe.
It's not healthy.
Oh. Nobody told me that.
No, it's not healthy at all.
That.
And I'm like, here we are, the nurses of America, like preaching health to the world, and we are, in fact, the most unhealthy people.
I literally just thought I slept great when I would do that.
I slept incredibly, and I could sleep throughout the day
healthy.
like a fucking rock.
No, sleep is healthy, and if you need a drink before sleep, if you work night shift, I see no problem with that, and I respect it.
I'm happy that you understand it because I feel like a lot of listeners or viewers are not going to get it if they don't work in healthcare.
I have the habit of
chugging a Celsius every time you woke up?
Well, yes, that, but on the rocks. Remember I told you, so I did a contract in Miami, and it was a full 30-day contract that you had to work 6 out of the 7 days a week.
Brutal.
Maybe 7 if you wanted to.
Yeah,
it was like a government contract, whatever.
Oh, high-paying
but it was
contract,
beautiful. Babe. It was like, they put you in a hotel, they would pay for, like, you had a bus you would get on. And, like, it was kind of, it, like, felt like the military, and I kind of loved it. Like, I actually had the best time ever. However, I would get home, and, like, you can't risk not sleeping.
Correct.
Like, if you do not sleep,
then you could potentially kill somebody at your next shift.
Well, no. Well, yeah, but that goes with anything. But
or you're a Megatron
You're
bitch.
working 6 in a row with one day.
Brutal.
Like, you cannot risk not sleeping one day because you're working for so long, right? So you have to go to bed immediately. And what helped was Cosmopolitan on the rocks.
The brand on the rocks, Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, the brand on the rocks. So I would literally have one of the full, I mean, it was the small ones, obviously. I'm not, like, insane. But every single time I got back, I would have an on the rocks, chug it to the point that it's like, I'm feeling woozy.
Yo, these are really strong
premixed
cocktails.
When you feel it and you know you're about to fall asleep, you just knock out.
You have to knock out.
Oh my God.
I don't think we talked about this on the pod, but there was an episode, and I don't recall which episode it was, but Colleen decided she was going to bring over, it was her night to bring drinks, because we always have little cocktails, scrubs off, bottoms up.
I really like.
And Colleen brought 2 bottles of On the Rocks. One was big, one was
big.
Small. One was like a full, like, 750cc bottle, and the other one was like normal, like 3 servings.
I've never had the jalapeno margarita,
and so I saved myself because I don't like a spicy cocktail.
Oh, I love
Colleen
spicy marg.
So we drink the Cosmo together.
Yeah.
Colleen proceeds to, while we're filming, drink the entire jalapeno margarita one. And at the next morning, so Colleen goes home. She's not driving. We live in New York. Nobody really drives. Yeah. Except Colleen occasionally, but she did not drive. Gets in an Uber, gets home, she texts me goodnight, whatever. Wakes up the next morning.
I walked half the way home. I was like listening to music. I'm like, I can't catch a cab. I'm like trying to catch a cab for 5 seconds.
Like, who is this
Didn't get one, so I'm like, screw
bitch?
it. I'm literally crossing my feet, like walking straight, but the feet are crossing. Like, I thought I was someone else.
So I get this text from Colleen the next morning, and she's like, hey, we're like needing to come up with some titles for the podcast. And she goes, by the way, do you have any idea what we talked about? And I said, well, yeah, we filmed last night. Like, are you senile? And Colleen goes, to be completely honest, I blacked out last night while we filmed.
No, I don't black out anymore.
And you said it was also like it was a hangover too.
No, I woke up with pizza at my bedside. Like, I woke up with Romano's, which is like,
is that like your pizza shop by your house? Okay.
Exactly. I have not had it in so long. I woke up with like the crust at my bedside. I was like, this is bad. But I will say, I went to 7-Eleven, maybe before or after Romano's, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And I also had 2 Gatorades.
Smart girl.
I know. So at least
always looking out for yourself.
Okay, back to what I wanted to say about night shift versus day shift.
Okay.
Something that I noticed that I really need to get used to is like having a conversation with humans.
Yeah.
There was like a few times that I was like working my shift that I was like, Colleen, you need to go like talk to other people. Like people talk, like you don't, like at nights, you kind of like
It's almost
stay
a
to
little
yourself.
isolating,
Maybe
yeah.
you like talk to somebody, like you two talk, or like you read, or like you do something. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to have to learn about my coworker. Like I have to like we're going to chit chat, and it's going to be like a healthy chit chat.
Yeah.
But I have a really nice story that I didn't tell you.
Okay, tell me.
So it was a heat wave, whatever, but it was like my break time.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk. Go outside, go for a walk, literally 2.5 minutes because I wanted to die.
Because it's over 100 degrees in New York.
It was disgusting. I literally had like...
Breathing fire. I would
couldn't
rather
breathe.
put glass shards in my PV hole and get danced around than be out in that heat.
No. I physically couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Like there was no whatever. So then I turned my ass around real fast and came back.
Okay, yeah.
And as I was walking into the hospital, someone in a wheelchair, and I'm not going to go too in depth in the story, but I like have my AirPod in, and she was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hi," like just being kind.
Yeah, you're like,
And she
"Hey."
was like, "You don't remember me?" And I was just like caught off guard, so I was like, "No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Like, no. And she was like, she said her name, and she like made like a motion of something. And she was like, "You saved my life, Michael." So I looked at her, and I looked at the person that she was with, who I had met when she was hospitalized. And I like literally started crying on the spot. Like she was like, "Thank you again." Like thanked me. When I tell you I almost died, it was like the best feeling I've ever
You're like
felt.
tearing up right now. No, it is.
It was insane.
Because
I did.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say how because I don't want to, go to.
Totally.
Like, yeah. But I saved her life. And I know I did.
So sweet and such a rewarding, like,
Oh,
thing to come into your week out of nowhere.
I was having a bad day too.
This was the day.
This was
the day. Seldom working in critical care do you get to see, like, good positive results with your actions.
Or if you do, there's not a follow-up.
Yeah.
They go to like a floor.
What a little treat.
Leave.
What a nice little Easter egg that somebody above you like dropped in your path.
It was
And you
amazing.
needed it that day because Colleen was on a rampage.
I was not happy.
And rightfully so. Without going too in depth here.
I don't know what to say, but this is the pod, and
since we're on the topic, and you guys have to know a little bit about our personal lives, clearly, because...
Well, and I don't even care, because if who I'm talking about is listening, you're obsessed with me, and you're a loser.
Valid.
The thing I'm going to say... Don't yell at me for touching my mic. I can't. I keep sagging. I keep sagging. I can't help it. The thing I'm going to say is... You read online a lot about, I've okay.
Collect your thoughts, babe.
You ever come across that TikTok and it's like, don't fucking trust a nurse. They're going to cheat on you. You don't trust a cop. You don't trust a nurse. You don't trust the military.
I've seen them.
And it's annoying. And you go in the comments and it's like, yeah, I dated a nurse. She cheated on me.
Yes.
All this stuff. That drives me nuts when people say it like in person.
Well, what did we learn about this situation?
We trust no men. We trust no men. I personally have a problem with... Okay, I'm going to go on a little rant.
Great, do it.
People who do bad things.
Okay.
We're human. We all do bad things here and there.
Of course.
Everybody has done something mean to somebody else. We are human.
Yep.
But people who act like they never do something wrong grind my gears.
Oh, it's the holier than thou and thou walks on water type
Oh my
of
God. Like they're in the front row at church every Sunday.
Honey.
And then
You know
you
who
see
you
what
are,
they
baby.
do on Saturday night. Don't. At least sit in the middle row. Okay? Sit in the back.
Absolutely.
And sing to yourself. Don't sing out loud.
This is the worst fucking simile. But I also
That's
understand
a fact.
I also understand that, like, you desperately need to get this off your chest. So
yeah,
keep going, babe.
so stop.
It'll come around at some point.
You know what? You know, everybody knows that person in church who sings extra loud, and you know they are not holy.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you are not nice, that is okay. It is okay to not be nice to everyone.
Okay.
But do not act like you are the nicest human and you think about others. If you are selfish, be selfish. That is fine.
But
I will
fucking
take
own
you.
it.
I will take you as you are.
And don't lie to my face about it.
Thank you. And that is the end of the rant, and that is the lesson of the freaking week. Be yourself.
Be yourself.
If you suck as a human and let it be, but don't act like you're the best because you're not. And
Fair.
I hate you.
Fair.
And just because you're tall doesn't mean you're hot.
Anyway, moving on.
So
Colleen's feeling a little spicy today.
I am feeling spicy.
And totally valid. I think that I've never been in a situation where... No, I definitely have been in the situation where somebody so blatantly disrespected me after we ended on quote-unquote good terms. But I think you are handling it with grace.
I'm doing my best. The beauty of it is like... how do I say it? Like, girls have each other's back, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So boys, if you think that,
Shout out to the girls.
No, seriously, if you think
that's
that no one is going to, like, yeah, some people are shitty. I won't go on my rant that I just went on again, but girls typically have each other's back these days, which is a blessing.
Okay.
Truthfully.
Girls having each other back. I do have to touch on this. Secret Life of Mormon Wives.
I've watched a little bit.
Oh, fuck off. You haven't seen the second season?
So I'm up to the point of Dakota cheated. Oh, no.
Okay, she's having a hard time with this. Anyway, I first started watching like episode 1 and 2 of season 2, and I got bored with it. And my sister was like, no, Michael, like, you need to watch it. Those girls, some of them, yeah, they're beautiful. Some of them have pillow face and way too much filler.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a few of those girls are not girls, and it took me, I never like comprehended in my head because I'm a boy and we do dumb things. I will fully acknowledge that.
Oh, yeah, that's
but, like,
all you do.
And my sister really had the conversation. She's like, no, Demi is not a girl's girl.
Oh, Demi, what's wrong
Demi.
with that?
She's like really pretty, but she, like, by the end of the season, you end up hating her.
Who's she dating?
She's married to like an older guy.
Blonde boy? Oh.
No, she's married to an older guy. Anyway, I find that show like wildly entertaining, but also wildly.
No, the head girl is the best one.
Taylor.
Yeah,
her
she's
family
the best
fucking
one.
sucks.
Oh, her family sucks, but she keeps
when her
herself
dad
together.
like straight up essentially called her a whore at the dinner table, I was like, I feel so bad for this girl because like genuinely she doesn't have like a great support system behind her. Like that's insane. Also, fast forward, her mom, she wasn't invited to like a Christmas party. Her mom showed up to the Christmas party to have like a confrontation with one of the girls, which is so wildly inappropriate.
Oh my gosh.
And the other girl didn't handle it well. I'm going off. Need I say more? No, but
I need to catch up on it.
I'm finally understanding and I've comprehended like a girl's girl. I wish I could be that for you, but I don't have a vagina and I don't have the same brain connections.
Yeah.
That
no,
you do.
girls are just like the best. Like, and you just know, like.
Well, I'm happy that you guys had that sixth sense for that because I don't know if I do.
No. Have you been following the Karen Reid trial?
Yes.
You followed it?
Yes.
She's free.
I know. I have so many mixed emotions about the Karen Reid trial.
Okay.
And I know you do as well.
Oh, I've been following this since the first
You
trial.
followed it a lot closer than I have.
I hate people that are like, I saw this before everybody else. However, I did see this before everybody else. I saw this on TikTok
been on it forever,
when my niece was like just born. And I was like, doing midnight shift auntie things. You know? But no, I've been following this like deeply.
So give me your thoughts.
I think she did it, but I think she did a good job of getting away with it.
Honestly, If anyone
No,
can write
I
a book
mean,
on how to get away with murder, it's Karen
It's
Reed.
Karen Reed. I think in like 25 years we're gonna
I'm
get.
like, to be completely honest, let's invite her on the pod because
No,
I
truthfully-
genuinely like maybe like cameras off but hidden, but I'm like, bitch, how'd you get away with it?
No, I think she saw like all these like the things in the system gaps.
Oh, gaps in the system, and that's how she
and
got
she
off.
was like, oh, okay, because what happened to her tail light?
It's the story is wildly insane.
Everybody
you
knows
give-
it. Everybody knows it. They have to.
Not everyone does, and I found this out recently. We don't need to get into semantics, but can you just give like a brief overview of what happened very quickly?
She had been out with people.
And her boyfriend.
Yes.
Or husband.
Boyfriend.
Okay.
They've been together for however many years, a long time, and somebody invited them to like an after party, quote unquote.
And they're all police officers,
They're
correct?
all police officers. They're all like in
Okay.
their 30s and 40s, so they're older.
And this is in Boston.
And so it's in Boston.
Okay.
And so she drops him off at this house, supposedly just to like see what's happening. He goes in the house.
Quote unquote.
We're not sure. They're fighting about something. She leaves him, goes home. She's calling him, like freaking out on him for being an asshole, which
Like-
he probably was being an asshole.
And the voicemails were,
Don't say crazy. She's not crazy.
no, they were
Valid.
filled with profanity.
Oh, they were beautiful.
They were
Yeah.
choice words.
And then he never came home, and she freaked out and got some of her friends, whatever you want to call them, to go back to the house, and he was dead on the front. No, he wasn't dead yet, but he was on the front lawn.
Barely alive.
Barely alive, yeah.
In the
And
middle of
it's
winter.
it actually like breaks my heart that the whole fact of him passing is like, yeah, it's like a big thing and it's been like crazy to follow. However, like this poor man died.
Yeah, and
And luckily
possibly
now,
because he got hit by his wife in a car.
yeah, or supposedly he was like beaten inside by some of the other police officers,
Just like
or
the facts and the gaps, and there was just a lot of misconstrued pieces and
it was a
wild
bunch
things.
of drunk
But anyway,
people who ended up, something bad happened, and I want to believe that he fell on his own, hit his head, and because it was during a snowstorm, which is what also complicated the situation. And it was a very interesting trial to watch. Bringing it to nursing, I guess. Something I like didn't listen to the whole trial all the time,
Okay.
but I would listen to clips and stuff like that. But I did listen to the autopsy woman.
ooh,
And I never thought about it. Like, how often do you think that they have to, like, speak to cops and stuff like that after doing an autopsy?
like a medical examiner?
You just put your head
What?
behind your head. He
I
just,
think-
he just, like, made the gesture of putting his...
Well, I actually have an answer to your question.
Oh, yes. Okay, sorry.
Medical examiners are subpoenaed by the court to come to read autopsies.
All the time.
Or they're given a report, and if it goes to trial,
They have to.
then they're subpoenaed to come in.
Okay. I was subpoenaed once.
You were subpoenaed.
I can't
This-
go into the details because
But it was
I'm
over a
scared
fucking
of the
chicken nugget.
legal
It
system.
was over a chicken
It
nugget.
was over chicken nuggets, and I had to go on stand. And it was the scare. I will
I
never.
should not be laughing because it's actually a really horrible thing.
I will never break the law because I don't want to ever do that again.
I'm so happy I've never been subpoenaed, knock on wood. I never want it to happen. That's like a scary part of being a nurse is you can get subpoenaed like 20 years later, and that's why quote unquote turning is so important. Anywho, the chicken nugget subpoena. Speaking of chicken nuggets, I don't know why I just had this thought, but one time, it was like 2 or 3 summers ago, I like went. Do you ever go through like drunk phases where you're like, when you're drunk, you have to have something, and you're like, I need to eat this. Like I have
Romano, it's pizza.
Okay, fair.
We saw
So mine
that.
is Little Italy pizza.
Okay.
They also like have the best cheese slice in the city. I've tried all the slices. It's great.
Okay.
But how I initially found them was on like Grubhub or DoorDash or whatever. And when we used to go out drinking until the wee hours in the morning, I would order a chicken bacon ranch pizza from Little Italy. Anyway, we had a friend staying with us, it was Colin, and he said that one night Michael and I had went home, and he goes, Michael, I found you on the ground on the other, Michael's naked in bed, face down naked in bed. I'm on the side of the ground with an entire Little Italy chicken bacon ranch pizza, cutting pieces off with scissors and feeding it to myself, sitting in crisscross applesauce, just eating it.
Okay, hold on. Why the scissors?
I told you, I don't like to get my hands dirty. We talked about this in the last episode, but like, it's such a...
It's pizza.
But it's also like a heavy pizza.
Babe, a fork and a knife.
All right, the drama. It's such a heavy piece of pizza that I was drunk. Don't reason with a drunk person.
Oh my goodness
Come at me,
gracious.
my lord. Anyway, scissors. You use fucking scissors or an ulu or a pizza cutter to cut your chicken. I rest my case. You're just as weird. Valid.
Okay. On that note, I'm going to crack open a drink.
Are you just...
No,
Colleen just pulled out two cans of seltzers from behind the chairs that she's sitting in.
I'm a prepared girl.
Do you have an extra?
Yeah, I have yours too, babe.
Oh, thank you. What a good friend. Love you.
Oh, the sound of that.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you ever crop dust your patient?
Excuse me. I'll say that's no. I don't know what that is, but no, I have never done that in my life.
You know exactly what it is.
No, I do not.
Have you ever like tooted in your patient's room?
No.
I keep seeing these TikToks that come up on like Nurse Talk. And it's like when your patient's intubated and sedated, or when your patient's confused and you walk in the room and shit your pants and blame it.
Why are you crying? These are not.
I'm dying.
How often have you done that? I mean,
no, I haven't done it, but like,
yes, you have. You have.
I like genuinely don't think I've done it, but
no,
I
it's
did.
the TikTok algorithm.
I'm laughing because I recently. Do you ever make crazy Amazon purchases? Like when you ever have like a couple drinks or you're just feeling a little kooky, do you ever get on Amazon and scroll and find something just to like buy to like pull a prank or fuck around with people?
Yeah.
Okay, you can tell me after I tell you the story because it's genuinely...
I hope it's funny because you're literally about to pass out.
I don't think that I ever showed you this video. Anyway, so I somehow was on the nurses farting in the room, whatever, like TikTok algorithm, and they were talking about getting this like fart spray. I was like, how bad could it really be? It was like triple packed when it came in from Amazon, and I was like, oh god, this looks serious.
Yeah.
So I had set my phone up on the brunch.
And you sprayed that shit around him?
And I sprayed it all around him, but he thought that I was spraying the room spray. So all of a sudden in the video you see him going like opening his mouth and going, and he goes, wow. He's like,
did he vomit?
And he goes, did you shit in my mouth? And I was like, what? And he's like, it tastes like someone just shat in my mouth. So I'm hysterically laughing at this point, and Michael hasn't put two and two together that I had used this fart spray, and all of a sudden I start retching. And
well,
then all
that's
of a sudden,
because
he starts retching and vomiting. He runs off, has no idea he's being recorded and is puking. Anyway, somehow in this fart spray on Amazon, they managed to encapsulate not only the worst smelling fecal matter that you've ever smelled, but they somehow managed to encapsulate the heat that comes along with it.
What is wrong with you?
It was so funny.
This is the difference between girls and boys. I would have lost we would have broken up. Like Michael, I would have solely broken up with you.
Michael tried to get angry for like 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden
he vomited.
He's hysterically crying.
Somebody made millions of dollars off of that.
I think I never posted it on TikTok or any social media, but I think we might
I've never
need to.
seen it.
I'm gonna have to show you. It's very funny.
Oh my god, he vomited.
Especially because Michael is Eastern European and
I'm
generally like
emotionless.
So
you up.
for Michael to number one, we don't condone
vomit, and he has like a stomach of steel.
Michael's it was so bad, Colleen. Anyway, please.
Mine's not funny.
Oh, then I don't give a shit.
What I mean, like,
What'd you buy?
I went down like a rabbit hole of like if all the energy like ended in the world and like what to do. So I got a phone charger that's solar power. That's it.
Oh. What? That's fucking boring. One time,
But when all the energy goes out or the electricity goes out.
Where's your tin hat, babe?
Oh, that's what they mean?
No, that's like a term for like QAnon conspiracy. Like they think radiation's getting to their head. To be honest, not to like ruffle too many feathers, but some QAnon conspiracists thought that we were microchipping people when we were COVID testing them. But
I say no problem.
I think
I
you
want
should
to be
microchipped.
microchipped. No, I've thought about this. They do it for dogs.
I think you
Dogs
genuinely
get
need to be
chips.
fucking microchipped because you're a wild girl.
What did
You
I
have-
say earlier
You have
today?
one too many on the rocks and you are out.
What did I? And my phone gone.
Colleen today.
I will leave my phone if I'm like having a black. Even when I'm at my most wholesome,
Yeah.
phone gone.
Colleen-
I'll lose it.
Literally tonight goes, if we go to a level 3 country that's on warning, then I am swallowing an AirTag so my parents know where to find
Yeah,
me.
because I'm not gonna. They need to know, and
Yeah.
I see no problem with that because we do it for dogs. It's actually kind of funny. This reminds me of when I started nursing. I was living at home, and like after a shift or something, I'd be like having dinner, talking to my parents about stuff.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, he's like not in healthcare at all, and he was like, all right, so can I get a pacemaker? I'm like,
What?
whoa, what are you talking about?
Such
And
a
he's
dad
like,
comment.
I must have been like talking about pacemakers or
Okay.
something. And he was like, sounds great. I'm like, wait, explain this.
Explain
And
what
he's
you
like-
think a pacemaker is.
You'll never die. My heart will, if something happens and my heart stops, it'll continue. And I understood where he was coming from.
Of course.
And I did think about
And
it.
that's not how it works.
It is a little bit. And
If you have an ICD, what is that is an LVAD. And have you ever
Okay.
taken care of an LVAD patient?
Yeah, and it's scary.
So an LVAD is a left ventricular assistive device, potentially. Something
Yeah.
but basically patients who are waiting for like a heart transplant.
Anybody who's seen Grey's Anatomy, Denny.
I have no idea. An LVAD is
What?
essentially a battery pack that keeps your heart pumping
Yeah.
until you can get a transplant. What's insane is when I was in
When you
nursing
change
school,
the battery.
Yeah. No, what's insane is if you don't have a backup battery and you can't change it, then you're fucked. Your heart just stops.
Okay, literally, if I have an
Have
LVAD
you
and I
listened
don't
to
have
an
7.
LVAD? It sounds like a fucking train.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is the most incredible. I mean, to this day, I will never forget the sound of like auscultating this patient's heart running on an LVAD.
But those patients are so educated on it. Because I remember
You have to be.
when
They're
I was
also
a student
millions of
intern.
dollars.
Yeah, no, when I was a student intern, that was the first time I had ever seen it. And I was terrified, obviously.
Of course, because you're like, what if I
you
unplug them?
learn exactly. I'm like, what if I trip? What if I drop my water on it? I don't know, anything. And he was like, it's no big deal. And he was like showing me how it works. And I was like, holy shit.
It's incredible that we have devices like that can truly.
I want an ICD.
ICDs are cool.
No, give me an ICD. If
Intracardio defibrillator. Amazing.
I'll drink all the Celsius in the world if you just give me an ICD so it can just
a little.
shot me back up. Like my dad was not wrong.
It's like just like your friend who had the aneurysm while drunk.
Oh,
Colleen's wasted on the dance floor in another country and doing pop, 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 pop. And we're like, is that her ICD going off?
Just
Or is
kicking.
that Colleen just drunk dancing? And with that being said, I'm fucking starving and I want to cut up with scissors some Little Italy chicken bacon ranch. I don't
Should
know.
we order it?
I think we should order it.
I don't want chicken bacon ranch though.
We'll get, the cheese is fine.
Okay.
All right, babe. With that being said, scrubs off.
Bottoms up.
Cheers and see you next week.